Welcome to SVG-TV News for Friday, August 29th, 2014. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. The new school year begins on Monday, and last-minute shoppers were today in a frenzy, ensuring that their young ones are well prepared for the new school term. As it relates to spending, the views expressed by Vincentians in Kingstown today were mixed, with some saying that this year has been particularly hard financially, while others are of the opinion that shoppers needed to simply walk around bargain hunting.
Last school year, I think things was a little expensive, and so I was going from store to store and I see the prices that they have. But this time, I find it good. I find it all right because I bought a shoe here for my son and I find it quite reasonable, and when I pick up the balance for them children.
I'm very much prepared, very much prepared. Everything I need, I'm finding it. Sometimes you have to compare prices. What persons need to do is walk around by the various stores and go and check, and where the cheapest one is, you buy from the cheaper one.
Everything. I just look shopping around for the shoes for my little boys. Yeah, so everything is okay.
All right. Yes, it's really difficult because you could see people who are really hard and suffering just forget something, you know, the school children before back in school. You could see really hard because, you know, you could see some people who get abandoned, plenty people who get abandoned, just forget the school, the children to go back in school. Because if me now be working musty, the whole thank God, yeah, the provider send me musty to provide for my children and them took back to school. Himself, me now for pay bills, and me get my children and them to go back to school. So, and pay bills and buy food for them still. So me have to thank God and me have to pray for those who not get no job.
Meanwhile, contrary to reports that the date for the reopening of schools has been pushed back, the Ministry of Education says not so, and that plans are in place for all schools to reopen on Monday, September 1st, 2014. An 8-month contract has been signed for the rehabilitation of the Carroll Bridge, with work expected to commence at the end of September. Today, the Ministry of Transport and Works officially launched the project, which will be undertaken by Bailey's contractors at a cost of $2,999,752 inclusive of VAT. At the ceremony, Chief Engineer Brent Bailey made a presentation on the project, which will seek to improve the capacity of the road infrastructure to provide resilience to the impacts of climate change.
2 events, same amount of rain, just shorter duration the second time around. So we wouldn't like to imagine what would have occurred if, for instance, we had an April 12 duration on December 13, you know, it's phenomenal. And as such, we have to redesign our bridges to accommodate those heavy flows of water. So we have to increase the hydraulic capacity of the bridge, which means we have to increase the ability of the bridge to transmit larger volumes of water. Also, we have to reduce the risk of blockage of debris, trees, sediment, and so forth by the bridge, and ensure the safe movement of vehicular traffic, and again provide protection to the river embankment.
Bailey says to meet the demand, surveys were done as well as geotechnic assessment.
We utilized our various codes, and we came up with a new design, again based on the surrounding houses and businesses and so forth, and came up with a design that is now a clear span bridge. And when I say clear span, we're removing the 2 intermediary piers that would have collapsed, and now increasing the total span of the bridge to 17 meters wide. We have included in design increase the abutment sizes, thicknesses, heights of because we're actually, as part of the design work, we're raising the bridge. We are installing piles at the toe of the abutment to the riverside so that if there is any scoring is basically the removal of the soil material by the river. If there's any scoring at the toe of the abutment, that there is a pile in place so that the structure is not compromised.
Meanwhile, Minister of Transport and Works Julian Francis has stressed the importance of having good designs for bridges so that damage is not repeated.
I'm pleased to see that we have raised the bridge significantly over its present former height. It's good to have some implications on the roadway itself, because if you raise the bridge deck, it means that you have to build up from both ends of the highway to catch back the top of the bridge. So there's going to be some transformation of the road surface. 100 feet down the road? 200 on both sides, 150 on 150 on both sides. So about 300 feet.
Francis noted that some properties will be affected during the rehabilitation work on the Caratal Bridge.
But I take it that in the design, I leave those technical matters to the engineers. But the neighboring properties in some way will be affected, and I believe that the Ministry of Works will spend time explaining to the property owners in the area what exactly the bridge is going to.
Still to come, former president of the PSU says he plans to appeal the recent judgment of a lawsuit against the interim executive. More stories on the local scene when SVGTV News continues. Don't go away. Welcome back. Former president of the Public Service Union, Cools Vanlo, says he intends to appeal the decision handed down by Justice Gertel Tom. Vanlo told SVGTV News that an application has already been filed. In that judgment, which was delivered earlier this month, Justice Tom sided with the interim committee of the union, ruling that the removal of the Vanlo-led executive was legal. Back in 2013, the membership, by way of a special meeting, removed Vanlo, then president, and the rest of the executive. An interim committee was then set up to oversee the process, leading into elections to select a new committee. However, a year-long legal battle ensued after Vanlo contended that the move by the committee was illegal.
There has been an application made for appeal at this particular moment, and in that regard, it would not be appropriate for me to make any comments on the substantive aspects of the judgment. The court judgment simply has given way to the election of an executive. That is the outcome, and I think that is what we're most concerned about at this particular moment.
Meanwhile, Vanlo contends that the decision of the interim committee not to reopen the nomination process is undemocratic and is outside the rules of the union. Chairman of the interim committee, Elroy Boucher, told journalists at a media conference earlier this month that the nomination committee was already contacted and the process to select persons for election in the various positions was done last year before the court matter began. However, Vanlo told SVGTV News today that proper procedure was not followed.
In other words, in effect, what that announcement has done is to disenfranchise the largest section of the public service union. This situation obviously is one that would have to be resolved by the membership. The membership would have to make a decision as to how it would go forward in this particular matter.
The facilitators of the just concluded 6-week training workshop on garment making, cosmetology and culinary arts have expressed satisfaction with the program. The 3 facilitators commended the participants, noting that they were quick learners and are confident that they will be able to achieve great things in the future.
I'm delighted because I'm not only a member of the team here, but I also facilitated a program in garment making, making of household articles and other articles. I would like to say that the program was indeed a very rewarding one. It was rich, it was full of challenges,
But without challenges, you cannot know your strength. So when the challenges come and you overcome them, you know how strong you are.
I want to encourage them to continue what they're doing, because this is just the start for some of them. Some of them would have had a little start, maybe in braiding, or maybe, learn how to weave a hair. But the relaxing, the chemical part of it, some of them absolutely know nothing about it. I taught them draping, practically how to prepare your client when, your client comes into the shop, and shampooing and conditioning, how to massage the scalp, and stuff like that.
26 weeks was guided by a course outline which we follow. And the participants were taught the use of the various tools and equipment associated with cake making, icing and decorating, and pastry making.
Local musician Chanel Scorpion Williams celebrates 25 years in the music business with the release of a compilation album. The album, entitled 1-to-1, features 18 of his best songs to date. Williams spoke to SVG-TV News on this milestone.
I've been asked on many occasions when I'm going to do a compilation of all my hits. I was like, in time, and this year I choose to do it because this year marks 25 years since I first put my feet on the stage, as I put my foot on the stage. And, this is it. It's called 1-to-1. It's not yet in stores yet, but I think by this week or next week, it is going to be in music stores, mainly music center. It's 35 BC, 18 tracks, 18 of your favorite Scorpion songs on this.
Congratulations to Scorpion. Mandeville Thomas of Calder today celebrated his 100th birthday. Speaking to SVG-TV News, Thomas attributes his long life to prayers and eating healthy. Thomas is the only surviving child of his 4 brothers and 3 sisters. He told SVG-TV News that on his birthday, he feels very good and is grateful to God for his life.
Oh, well, I feel very, very good, pleasant. I feel it very nice. Everything goes all right. I eat anything. I bought food, potato, yam, callaloo water, anything got to catch. We can satisfy 3 meals a day. One in the morning, one in the evening, one in that time. Nothing special. And I hope to live another 10 more.
Another 10 more.